Ava Zuniga.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eva Zuniga, and this is my aunt, Denise Martinez, and we belong to Canyon City Cure Team. Our team decided to take this year off since just 2 months ago, we lost yet another family member. Excuse me. Sorry. Usually I'm pretty good at this. My beloved Aunt Patricia Pardo to ovarian cancer. It's very hard not seeing her here in her purple Survivor t-shirt, walking her laps, but I know she's here with us in spirit. I'm up here before you guys this morning to talk a little about my family history. Since I was old enough to remember, the word cancer has always been an awful word in our family's vocabulary. I remember first being told about my grandmother, Eva, whom I was named after, had passed away from cancer at the young age of 42, leaving behind my dad, Blas, and his 6 sisters. Liz, Patsy, Yvonne, Monica, Denise, and Dina. In 1997, I witnessed my aunt, Liz, lose her battle with breast cancer. Since then, I felt like cancer has really never left our family alone. I've watched all my aunts battle and fight either breast or ovarian cancer, some even 2 or even 3 at a time. It was a hard thing to watch while growing up. It wasn't until my great Aunt Gloria, my grandmother's sister, whom was diagnosed with breast and ovarian cancer, had a hunch that this was something more than a coincidence, more than just a bad family history of cancer. She wanted an explanation and she wanted answers. She walked into City of Hope and demanded to speak to somebody regarding our family history. The first thing they told her was that she was a good candidate for a BRCA gene mutation test. BRCA is a gene mutation in our DNA that is linked to a higher risk of breast and ovarian cancer. I will never forget the phone call I received from my late Aunt Gloria telling me that she was positive for this gene, and she was asked to have all women in our family tested, young and old, with or without a cancer diagnosis. I was only 20 years old, sitting in my car wondering if that meant I too could suffer the same fate. I remember everything ran into my head. I remember even thinking to myself, no, I can't carry this gene. My dad is the only boy. How could he carry a gene that could possibly cause breast and ovarian cancer? No, I was safe. Little did I know, it wasn't until I had become a mom at the age of 24, and after yet again finding out that my Aunt Gloria and my Aunt Monica's cancer was terminal. I felt the need to know, the need to fight for my life so that I could live as long as I could for the little boy that I just brought into the world. I just went to my primary care physician who told me that it was not necessary, that I shouldn't worry. The family history was paternal, and most girls get their woman genes from their mother. It wasn't until I spoke with my Aunt Gloria wanting to know more about this gene that she told me this gene was passed to her and my grandmother from their father. I had a nauseating feeling in my stomach at this point, and my chances of carrying this gene was really possible. I then went to my OBGYN, who immediately sent a referral to my insurance to have me tested. I had an appointment at UCLA the next week. Within that same week, my Aunt Monica's health declined, passed away only 2 days before my appointment. It wasn't before I told her about my appointment. It wasn't before telling her that I was going to be tested, and she gave me a hug and a reassurance that I'd be okay. Not feeling up to going to my appointment, I thought about canceling it. I didn't have the strength to go through it. I didn't have the strength to find out if I was going to die young of cancer. It sounds harsh, but really, that's all that ran through my mind. Then I thought twice after looking into my son's eyes and realizing that I don't want to leave him without a mother in this ugly world. I prayed for the strength to get through the appointment. And God pulled me through it. My mom, myself, and my Aunt Gloria made the drive out to UCLA with our family history in hand. It was the most informative, scariest doctor's appointment I ever had. Well, rather than drive back out to UCLA, I opted to have them call me with the results, thinking that I was prepared to hear either a positive or negative result. I won't forget the day they called me at work. She started with, she had some bad news. I don't think I heard the rest of the conversation after hearing that it came back positive for BRCA1. I was at work in tears and visibly shaken. I know to some people it may seem like something little. At least I don't have cancer. Well, that was just not good enough. After seeing all I had seen in my family, I knew without a doubt I was going to die of breast or ovarian cancer at a young age and leave my baby boy to grow up without me, just as my dad had to. It hurt, and it killed me inside at that point. I was a different person. I knew I would suffer the same fate as my grandmother Eva, my Aunt Liz, my Aunt Monica, my Aunt Gloria, and my Aunt Patsy. I knew I had to start doing something about it. I was first told to start family planning. Either I needed to decide that one child was enough, or do I hurry up to have another like I always wanted to? It just didn't seem fair or fun. Why would I want to bring another child into this world if I may not be here to raise them? And what if I have a girl that would have to go through this without me? It was a lot of conversations with God and a lot of prayers that led me to my next decision. I really wanted a little girl. I asked God to please keep me well through the next couple of years while I plan to have another baby, to be able to give my son a sibling. While seeing my genetic counselor and making the decision of having a sibling for my son, we were hit with yet another obstacle. My mom, Sandra, was diagnosed with uterine cancer. My head was spinning. I couldn't even think of myself at the time. But thank God she's here today as a survivor and 4 years cancer-free. God kept me well and blessed me with a daughter and another couple of years to get life situated. I never was able to put this on the back burner. I lived with this diagnosis every day, and I knew my only hope to surviving this diagnosis, I needed to have my breast removed. So on April 5th, only 2 weeks ago, I had what was called a prophylactic bilateral mastectomy. I'm only 29 years old, losing what society thinks defines me as a woman, but I call it 2 ticking time bombs. It's been a long, hard road watching all my aunts fight and succumb to this disease, but when I look into the face of my kids, it makes the road to it worth it. I'm not close to being done. There are more surgeries to come, but my chances of acquiring breast cancer have dropped from 97% to 2%, which is lower than the regular population. That alone, I have won a battle that my aunts didn't have a chance to defeat. It was because of their deaths that we are able to have a chance to live. It's a whirlwind of emotions, but I made a promise to my Aunt Pat before she passed that I'd stop this and make a precedence to show all the younger girls in our family and all the future generations to come that this road could be scary, but if I could get through it, so can they. I hope to never see this fate come upon another family or another family member in ours. It's an awful family legacy to have, but we are now in control here. We have the knowledge to do something about it. They say having breasts makes you a woman. I now believe otherwise. Not having breasts has made me feel empowered, full of strength, and ready to take on any challenge that may arise. My Aunt Denise, that is up here with me, is also a Previvor. She had to make this choice prior to knowing anything about a genetic disorder. She decided to fight for her life prior to knowing anything, and she just seen her oldest sister and her mother and said, I'm going to do this. She also had preventive surgeries done way before we all knew our family were carriers of BRCA. My Aunt Yvonne, who was also diagnosed with breast cancer, who's not here today, she was diagnosed in 2004 and is also in remission. Also, before I get off the stage, I want to mention 2 more things. If you have a family history of cancer, please push for genetic testing and answers. There's a lot of families that have lost 2, 3, even 4, maybe even more family members to cancer. If my aunt didn't press for answers, I would have eventually suffered the same fate. Also, I want to say something to my dad, who passed this gene from his mom and passed it along to me. You gave me such a wonderful life. And along with my mom, gave me a life feeling blessed to want to live. Even after you grew up without your mom and watching your 3 sisters, Liz, Monica, Patsy, and your Aunt Gloria pass away, all I can tell you is that it meant If this meant the only way I could live without this gene was to not have you as a father or not be an evidente, then I wouldn't trade this in you for the world. I'd wake up every day happy, knowing you are right behind me every single step of the way. I'd rather go down this rough road as long as I have you behind me.